Here are the resource cubes that I have printed, and you can see they've turned out pretty well. I haven't cleaned off any of the strings or anything. These are pretty much right off the printer. And I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more using a magnifying glass I have, because what you can't see too well, because it's blurry right now. See if I can get that. To focus. You can sort of see it behind the lettering here, and that's showing all the letters. I have these little tiny holes. Let me see if I can show that better with a magnifying glass that can hook up to my cam here. Okay, with the magnifying glass on my cam, you can kind of see if you look to the left of the straight line in the D, you see three little dots in the middle. Those are little perforations. They're actually going around all the way around that letter, all down the side of the D, on the inside curve of the D, along the S, etc. You also see a couple weird imperfections in the top layer of my cube. Again, I'm not looking at the stringing, just the holes. So the interesting thing about this is these are also have 100% infill. So there is no hollow parts because these are board game pieces, and having some weight to them is something that feels nice when you're playing with board games. So we have there, and actually the dots show really well right there. They're 100% infill, and these letters should be sitting on top of a solid box. You can see them on the D there really well. So there's something going on here that is causing these particular defects to show up. So after talking to some people and getting a chance to watch my Finder go to work while printing these, I noticed that underneath the letters at one of the near top layers that I was getting some insets where it was actually kind of etching out the letter before it printed it. And I can show that here. If you watch how I go down the layers, there it is right there, layer 147. The printer, for some reason, is cutting these letters out. So it's filling in all the background but cutting out the letters. No idea why. And you look, if I go down further, we don't see those letters again. In this particular one, I have 8 top layers currently on these. So not sure why it's not doing that, if that's a full 8 or what's going on there. Let me show you the one that I did with 20 layers. Okay, so here I changed the top layers to 20. That's the only setting that I've changed. And I'm going to go ahead and go down through the layers on this batch. And here's where I started to celebrate. I thought that here at layer 137, maybe the problem was solved, but watch what happens as I go down. No letters, no letters. Suddenly in layer 128, they show up again. The only thing I changed between the one you saw before this and this one was that now I have 20 layers instead of 8. So wherever the top layers are ending, it looks like is where those are showing up, and then you can see it disappears again. The good thing about this is I'm guessing this might keep the dots from showing up on the top of mine, might make for a cleaner top layer, but the mystery remains as to why FlashPrint is putting this in here. Very strange. So after seeing this, I thought maybe I'd want to look at one of my cubes. So I went back into Tinkercad. I removed the lettering from the top of one of them so that I could look at the slicing for that and see what happens. Okay, so here we have just a cube. This is set with the same settings that I did for the first original set, the ones that you saw actually printed out, which were also the first slice that I showed here on my computer. So 138 is the top layer of the cube, a little good to know. And if I go down, again, this has 8 layers on top. You can see I thought maybe I'd lost some lettering inside the cube. Maybe there was an SD floating around somewhere inside my cube, but that's not the case. So the mystery remains. I'm guessing this is an odd thing with FlashPrint. I'm not sure, but there you go. No SD lettering anywhere in this cube, yet it's showing up in the other ones. So back to the cubes, I'm going to do a real short test here, just looking at what happens if I max out all my settings for top layer, bottom layer, and perimeter layers. I have 30 for my top, 30 for my bottom, and 10 for my perimeter. That is the most that this particular slicer will do. So let's see what happens. I haven't looked at it yet. Okay, so no SD there. Did we lose it? Nope, look at that. It still reappears. Layer 117 now. So it seems like that artifact from the lettering is going to show up somewhere in this cube no matter what. Kind of weird. I'm definitely going to try printing these, maybe with the cubes having this maximum setting and see what happens, or try one of the ones with just like 20 layers to see what happens, because I'm thinking that will help. I'm also just wondering what they'll look like if I do go ahead and add the additional outside layers. That might help some of the other imperfections I'm seeing on the top disappear as well. So there you go. Weird layers. Not sure if I have a solution. I'm going to go set up a batch to print and see what they turn out like. And we will know at that point if we can get any better than what I have here. Pretty good, but like I said, not a perfect top layer. Still has holes and still has that weird perforation around the letters.